All right, guys, what's up? This is Shonen. We're going to be talking about Sparking Zero, and I brought the most professional Sparking Zero people I know. We have Honk, we got Zero, the OG, and we got Acrilycz, all Tenkaichi veterans.
Hello. Yo, what's up? I love how Zero, I was just about to say, Zero's going to stay silent.
Zero just completely breaking the flow here, but no, it's fine. So we got to play Sparking Zero at, I almost said E3. We got to play Sparking Zero at Evo for 3 days.
TV, bro.
Oh my goodness, that's a throwback. So we got to play Sparking Zero at Evo for 3 days, mostly Acrilycz. And he was looking for a lot of the tech that was present in Tenkaichi 2, Tenkaichi 3 to see if that transferred over. So a lot of the earlier footage was just him messing around to see what works, what doesn't work. And I guess in comparison to the other YouTube videos, this was specifically for looking for tech and not to be flashy or anything like that. But I'll leave that to Acrilycz because he's the one who recorded everything. So go ahead, you can start off.
Yeah, so I mean, some of the gameplay is definitely just straight up not good. You can only play one match at a time. You're standing up and you play one match and then you have to wait like 10 to 30 minutes, however the line is. But some of the gameplay was insane. Like, I literally did a step in during a freaking revenge counter, so...
Yeah, that one you had to really anticipate the movement because you can't just do a step in while revenge counter is activated. You literally have to time it in anticipation.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely some cool clips. We'll have it on there for sure. And I just wanted to talk about when I first saw the dev gameplay, I was like super black-pilled about this game. Like, I did not want to play this game at all. And then I just basically forgot it existed. And then I came to Evo, and even after the very first match I played at Evo, like my entire mind changed. Like literally I'm not even kidding, the first 60 seconds on the game, like my entire opinion just did a 180. And since then, I've pretty much liked the game a lot. But I still don't think some of the game is for sure worse than BT3 and BT2. But some things are, in my opinion, a little bit better. But overall, the game is amazing. And especially if you didn't even play the old games, you're not even going to know what you're missing. So you're probably going to think this game is the best shit ever. So it's fine. And we got ZeroAnnihilated here, who pretty much invented a lot of the stuff that we were looking for in the new game, so it's pretty cool to have them here.
The key to enjoying Sparking Zero so far is to go in with an open mind and not necessarily compare it to Tenkaichi 2 and 3, because this is a brand new game in its own right, so it's more than likely going to have its own kind of tech, and it's up to us to find that. But if people play the game, go in thinking that, it needs to uphold this and that to Tenkaichi 2 and 3, then you're just asking for disappointment. So it's a good thing that you went in with that mentality, because we came out with a lot of good results.
Yeah. I mean, I came into the game just so pessimistic about it, but
yeah, you gave it a 2 while we were on the line.
God damn.
No, I think it's up to a 7 or an 8 now. It's pretty good, but no, what's crazy, right, is there is so many weird things about this game, right? So if you go left, right, you actually go left and right. You're not doing that circular movement like Tenkaichi has. And what's so crazy about that, there's actually an Afro Sender video that's going to be uploaded that's hilarious, because I get hit by Dodon Ray 5,000. So, dude, it's going to be the worst meme ever when that thing comes out. But basically, because if you go, even if you're very far away, let's say you're literally twice the distance of what the step-in barrier is, and someone does a very small Dodon Ray, it doesn't really have a big horizontal hitbox. It just goes one direction. It doesn't really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the new movement is the left and right Dragon Dash is so bad because you don't have that circular movement that that will still hit you. Even if you try to time it, it will clip you. And so the best way, if you're listening to this for some reason when the game comes out, I don't know why you would be, but if you are, the best way to get out of that, hold any diagonal on the stick, so up, left, down, right, etc., and hold either R1 or R2, and then kind of when it's like coming close to your character, just do an X dash. Just press X or A, whichever controller you have.
And so short dash.
Yeah, short dash. Because you're doing it diagonal and you're gonna be moving on the Z-axis like ascend or descent, you'll guarantee to avoid it every single time. You don't even need to worry about teleporting or anything. But if you try to just do like left or right movement, you'll get hit every time. So yeah, that's something to think about.
As far as actual teleportation, is it as strict as it has been in the previous Tenkaichis?
Absolutely not.
Oh, it's a lot easier now.
Yeah. I think that's not intentional though. I think what they did is they took the same math, or I'm not a game developer, the same whatever you want to call it,
Same build.
into the game. Well, a build, I don't know. I mean, like specifically the teleport interaction, whatever piece of code or math or whatever.
Okay.
They took that, but because the game is 60 FPS now, it basically you have twice as much time to teleport. It literally felt twice as easy.
Twice as much time, so that also means more frames to do so, right?
Yeah, and so the reason why I really do think this is a thing is because they built a whole new engine for this game, but they took things from past games, and it's like super obvious that they did that. And in another game like Storm 2, for example, all they did was port Storm 2 into the newer engine, and they didn't try to actually make it its own thing. And because of that, when Storm 2 went to 60 FPS, the subbing got cut in half because they didn't properly do it. Well, on this game, the opposite happened. You get double the frames because you see what I'm saying? Like, if people know anything about like how like frame data and like animation and like game design works, they probably get what I'm saying. But a port of a game that's 30 FPS to 60 FPS would inherently cut everything in half. That's why on like Kingdom Hearts, really hard to do like a parry against Sephiroth because it's literally half a frame instead of one frame now. But like but in Sparking Zero, because it's literally a game on its own new engine, but using legacy, like, attacks and things, I guess they just didn't account for it, and you literally have twice as much time to teleport. Like, every time I thought about teleporting, I teleported. Like, it wasn't like... You still get locked out, though. Like, you can't just spam. Like, you gotta time it still, but it is at least twice as easy.
So because by nature it's a 60 FPS game, that means that if we assume for a moment that super explosive wave type evasion is still in the game, that means it's going to be significantly easier for anyone to execute it, right? Okay.
I never did any multi-teleporting, but
yeah, it should be easier.
Actually, we eventually stopped trying to fight people with explosive wave, especially like Vegeta, because like you can't, like, the CPU won't let you do much of anything because they'll just use explosive wave to escape if they're not teleporting.
Yeah.
About super explosive.
Super explosive wave, yeah.
Oh,
As you're standing close to them, it would cover the whole screen, and the only thing you can do against it is just teleport the entire duration.
Well, you can block it, and if you happen to get hit by it and you have a character that has after image or after image strike, you can activate it while you're getting hit in order to go back into block state, but yeah, you can do that in Tenkaichi. So if we assume that multi-vanishing, multi-hitting attacks is returning in Sparking Zero, then we should still have those routes, because the only character I know at the moment in the game, meaning Sparking Zero, that has after image strike is Kid Gohan. So if anyone had used Kid Gohan during the demo gameplay against specifically, I think, base Dragon Ball Super Gogeta, because he actually had Super Explosive Wave, we might have been able to find out.
Yeah, that's true. I wish I was like talking to you guys when I was doing this, because
good, now we have a reason to ban you.
Right, dude. Yeah, like so much was happening at Evo, dude. Like so much, and like I had all these ideas in my head. Like I was testing so many things, but then there's shit I just completely forgot about. Like I don't even think I did a single lift strike in any of those videos. Like there's so many things. Like, I just forgot like half the movements, bro. Because I was so focused on like just a few things, and it ended up working out because I learned a lot. But like, I wish I took at least one game to do like like stuff like.
It did work out because
like.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just shouting out Dom for like literally while we was rotating the line. Dom was like, "Yo, let me see the footage. Let me see the gameplay."
Oh, okay.
Live. It's like, oh, that means you could probably do this, and that.
Yeah, exactly.
Krill. And then like Krill's like, oh crap, this actually does work. Like it was.
I swear, Dom has like a fucking like a sixth sense, bro. Like even games he's like not even like has that many hours in. He could just like look and just like know what works based on like what he sees. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, having the mind for that is great. You did produce some good results though, because we did finally confirm that when you do a Z counter 1, meaning the vanishing counter from Tenkaichi 3 and not the one where you do a counter attack by pressing up and punch, it does now take half a key gauge instead of an entire key gauge. That is phenomenal, because the fact that you can actually do these chains now, you don't have to worry about losing key within like 5 seconds of doing a chain. You could just keep going at it for as long as you want to until eventually you do lose key.
Like, I wanted to do like that combo that guy posted earlier, what we were saying was like a style combo, the thing that you made, the like, you know,
yeah, the times 4 vanish into a perfect smash.
Yeah, dude, the perfect smash on this game is just so god-awful.
Yeah, I've heard that they've made it like extremely bad and that it can even clash with a regular punch now.
Yep, and it literally, I'm not even kidding you, if you just hold square and don't let go of perfect smash, the holding square goes twice as far.
Really?
Yep.
Wait. So if you don't perfect smash and you just hold square to do a fully charged smash, what do you mean exactly that it goes twice as far? Like the opponent that when you smash them away, they go twice as far?
Say you're holding up on the analog.
Yeah.
Where? You will go further than if you try to do a perfect smash.
Oh, so you're saying that full power smashes are more beneficial than perfect smashes now?
Yeah, I think perfect smash is like never used unless you do it at like some absolutely godlike moment where the teleport from the perfect smash would avoid something that they do.
Yeah, because you do
super niche.
Yeah, because hopefully you should still get intangibility frames while you're doing the perfect smash itself. But I think it will change by the time that the game is out, unless they decide to change it before then.
Well, that's another thing. That's the point. So, we actually played an old build. So, if you compare the combos, like not the animations, like how do I explain this? The hit stun, or like not even a hit stun. It's the way the combos look when they impact on the enemy.
Yeah.
When you look at the footage I have, and then you look at the like Japanese or Korean footage, and like the online footage the Japanese people posted the other day, their combos look so much more impactful, and it looks so much more like a Tenkaichi game.
Mm-hmm.
Like our stuff, it looks way closer to Raging Blast, like for the combos that I have. Like I mean, like I don't mean like the actual animations or what buttons I'm pressing. I mean like what it looks like when the enemy is actually getting.
When they're getting hit, yeah, the stun frames look identical to like if you're taking a light charged attack, like the opponent will actually kind of like sway their body to the left or right like that. Yeah, it's got a lot of Raging Blast elements, and I would say that it probably has the best of Raging Blast elements while still retaining what makes a Tenkaichi game a Tenkaichi game.
In Raging Blast, you can do like just step-in cancels out of combos, right?
You can do step-in cancels, but you can, if it's a cancel like the yellow flash going across the screen, you can only do that once per combo.
Okay, so they basically just took that system and they just like put it on crack and made it complete.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. Anything you want to chime in on, Zero?
That's what I was about to say. Not to single them out. Like if you have any like questions, I'm sure a Crow can answer, and based on the footage, Hawk can answer as well. Like from anything from previous Tenkaichi games, because you're the way a Crow describes you is you're like the godfather of this stuff.
Dude, if he didn't do what he did, no one would be good at the game, straight up. Or if they are good at the game, they would be worse than they are right now. I guarantee you.
Well, Zero definitely is in charge of everything we know for Tenkaichi 2. He's also responsible for the reason we're able to do jolting and flanking, I would say, in Tenkaichi 3. Even though a lot of the stuff that made Tenkaichi 2 so advanced did not carry over to Tenkaichi 3. But if we're talking about like just general advanced mechanics, we owe a lot of that to Zero. And we definitely could call him the grandfather, because this old man is older than we are.
I appreciate all that, but I guess you would be leading into my first point, and that is mostly everything that worked in Tenkaichi 2 at the top level did not transfer over to Tenkaichi 3. But that didn't mean that the players of Tenkaichi 3 didn't find a lot of advanced stuff as well.
Exactly. We did find a lot of our own things for the game itself that weren't exactly related to Tenkaichi 2.
Right. And so basically that means that anybody who is just right off the bat a top-level Tenkaichi 2 player can't just jump into Tenkaichi 3 and play with the top-level, the top boys and actually expect to do well, and vice versa. So that being said, whenever Acrilycz was playing this game, and I guess Rose made that video that said, finally from a pro and such, well, just because somebody was good at the other Tenkaichi games, you can't expect them to put on a fantastic show in a Tenkaichi game that is like right out the box.
Yeah.
So I expect Acrilycz would do well in Sparking Zero better than any average player would, simply because of his background in Tenkaichi. But that doesn't mean that he's going to just automatically be great at Sparking Zero right off the bat. So I think everybody should be able to give him a little bit of leeway regarding whatever performance there was on the screen. I guess my concern so far with Tenkaichi Zero, the reason I even asked in the first place was, I guess, how easy or how difficult it is to teleport a blast in Sparking Zero, comparatively speaking to the previous Tenkaichis. I'm a very competitive person. I always have been. I love Tenkaichi. It's a mix of all the things. I've always loved fighting games, so we have a fighting game mixed with
the best of arena fighters.
And it's something new, and it was something that I could really grab a hold of and make it my own, and it was beautiful. However, whenever there was this transition from Tenkaichi 2 to Tenkaichi 3, one of the things that I do appreciate about Tenkaichi, and my experience in Tenkaichi, is that over time, there's been a major distinction between top-level Tenkaichi players and pretty much everybody else. And I'm basically just saying, like, there's a difference between the casual, which is, in my opinion, probably making up 99+% of the population, and the top-level players. And they can enjoy the game for what it's supposed to be, the story mode or whatever. That's one thing I always heard about Tenkaichi 2 being such a great game, because of the story mode. I don't care about the story mode. I don't think I ever...
Dude, I see the same shit every...
I'll raise my hand. That was definitely me. Tenkaichi 2 had the best story, but I mean,
Yeah, I still say that Tenkaichi 2 had the best story mode. As someone who, like, Tenkaichi 2 is actually my first or second Dragon Ball game, and I still love its story mode to this day.
the one of the first reveal scans, like when I got it translated, like I think I forgot if it was V-Jump or Weekly Shonen. It was one of the two. But one of the editor comments was like that they had mentioned Tenkaichi 2. It's like, oh, like this is gonna have a story mode, like I'm getting similar vibes from like Tenkaichi 2 with this. Something along the lines of that. So I guess it's just really revered as a very good game.
The story mode and Sparking should definitely be similar. But what were you saying, Zero?
Well, that's kind of been the general consensus regarding the casual perspective, and that is the story mode is really, really important because it's the kind of fun that they were looking for. They were looking for the Dragon Ball Z experience. Well, I'm not really looking for a Dragon Ball Z experience. I'm looking for a really good fighting game, and that's what I got out of it. You guys mentioned something about me inventing all kinds of these techniques. I had a couple of them, but a lot of these techniques came from other top-level players throughout many, many years.
Yeah.
So the style that
Who invented free will? Who invented free will?
Was that you or Oso?
No, that was J3149. He
Damn, some completely random mate. I don't even know that.
Completely random.
he was a Japanese player. He didn't get a lot of recognition.
A Japanese player. Wow, I don't know any Tenkaichi 2 Japanese players.
That guy is fucking based, man. I have to beat that guy. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, if you look up his YouTube channel now, all of his Tenkaichi stuff is gone. He took it down for some reason.
No.
Yeah, it sucks.
Dude, that's so cool that like some random Japanese guy made that. That's really cool. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's come from all over the place, but that's those. This is going to sound kind of elitist for me, but I'm not trying to make it seem that way. Those are the kind of people that I see as my kin when it comes to this game, because they may or may not have been enjoying Tenkaichi for the DBZ experience, but I saw them as being top-level players who saw the game the way I saw it, or wanted to see the game the way I wanted to see it.
Absolutely.
So that being the distinction between top-level players and the casual players, if you look at Tenkaichi today, Tenkaichi 2, Tenkaichi 3, who are the people that are still playing the game? You know, you're going to find a whole bunch of people, but not. I would be shocked if any one of them would be somebody that you would call a casual. You know, everybody
plays. There's a lot of like story mode playthroughs on YouTube. However, those people aren't consistently playing. They're doing a single playthrough, uploading it to YouTube, and calling it a day. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
And that's the difference between somebody who's playing a game versus a Tenkaichi player. So the people who are still dedicated to Tenkaichi today, they're not playing the game for funsies because of the story mode. They're playing the game to be technical fighters. They're playing the game to experience the game in ways that no casual ever could before. One thing that I guess kind of irked me at the time between Tenkaichi 2 and Tenkaichi 3 was one of the differences between the casual and the better players is in Tenkaichi 2, when you're dealing with a rush attack, you had limited options. And the limited options required hero execute. Right. You couldn't just hold block and then let that save you. You actually had to be a good player in order to deal with rush attacks. That's why in the beginning, I think there was one tournament, Zoso knows about this story. I think he's the one that presented it to me. There's been one tournament in Tenkaichi 2, and the guy that won, he did it just by spamming techniques. He just by spamming Super Blast. Well, that's because like at the base of this game, if you can't do certain techniques that should be, pretty basic, such as teleportation, then you're going to get your ass kicked by the most basic techniques, the most basic attacks. So when they made that change in Tenkaichi 3, it was kind of a letdown for me, because what I loved about this game was the distinction between what makes a good player and what makes everybody else. And it's the hard shit. It's the stuff that takes time and getting good at. And now I don't want to take that away from Tenkaichi 3. As I said, the players of Tenkaichi 3 created a whole mess of other techniques that I can't do if I get in there, right? The perfect smash execution, etc. I mean, it's just on a completely different level. But if this is going to be a new Tenkaichi game, sparking Zero, I would like to know what other kind of changes, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of kind of changes, right? How much easier is the bottom level of gameplay going to be compared to Tenkaichi 2 and 3, that's going to bring in a lot of casuals loving the game for what it is, but there's going to be less of a chance to point out the difference between top level players and everybody else. I mean,
Yeah, because
lowered the standard to casual, then who's a top level player, who's not a top level player, and that's going to be what defines who's going to be here playing Sparking Zero 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah, dude. So basically they made this game to make money, right? So I'm in the Navy. We have this like funny saying in the Navy. It's called Seaman Timmy. So basically you want everything to be so simple that even little Seaman Timmy can do it, right? So they want everything. They want the baseline gameplay of Sparking, the entire move list, both offense and defense, to be able to be performed by Seaman Tim. Basically the lowest common denominator of the entire human race, right?
yeah, that's why the battle assist system now exists, right?
As like I'm literally talking about like stuff I can't even say on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so because of that, they took essentially, if you really think about it, a 4-button input and put it into analog stick. I mean, okay, think about this, Zero, right? You already know this. You're the one that told me this shit. Like, you press X in one direction, you go one direction. Then you press R1 in another direction, you slide in that other direction. While staying in neutral, you can guard, key blast, anything you want, right? On this game, none of that exists. You have X dash, which costs key, has a startup and an end lag, but it's very small, but it does. Like at least 1 or 2 frames of end lag for sure.
Yeah.
And And just that by itself, that X movement and that analog movement compared to even BT3 is like, that simplifies the game in a really, really bad way. And there's so many things that because you can't do those shift manipulations, basically like SM is called shift manipulation. You can't do any of that stuff. You can't do the switch tech. You can't do like any of that stuff. You can't do obviously you can't do stuff like the slingshot, which is you basically hold ascend, hold guard, and you kind of come at them with a heavy hit. And then you would cancel the heavy hit with X and move the stick away, and you'd like fly away, and that's why we called it a slingshot. He'd basically be coming into the stepping barrier and then quickly flying away out of the stepping barrier, but you can't do any of that cool stuff. But, and you know, when I first saw this, because like when the developers played, these guys don't know how to play the game. And like, I think it was Joe Furutani playing, or maybe one of his, you know, little worker minions or whatever, but was like, yeah, dude, these guys are like, you know, master degree software engineers. Like,
yeah,
they didn't spend a bunch of hours playing Tenkaichi, bro. They don't know how this shit works. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I watched them play, realizing just like looking at the base, like the facts, I'm just looking at the facts. Okay, we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this. And then watching them play, and they're just so incredibly terrible at the game. It made me think that the game was so unplayable that like it was like I would rather play Raging Blast, and I absolutely hate Raging Blast. And so like it's crazy to me that even though it's literally created for the absolute common denominator of like lowest common denominator of the entire human race, like the dumbest person alive basically could play this game. But what I think is so impressive is that when I went to Evo and actually got on the game, after the first match, I immediately felt like there is more to this game than anybody knows. Like, there is for sure stuff people do not know about this game. They're cooking something, like, for sure. Like, yeah, it's so easy baseline. It's way easier than BT3 baseline. Like, if you thought BT2 to BT3 was a bad change, this is like infinitely worse. This is like just hyper casualized to absolutely like 12 out of 10, bro. Like, it's crazy. But it's crazy because I was so pessimistic about it, and then as soon as I get out the game, I realized there is some cool stuff you can actually do. Like, for example, in Tenkaichi 3, at some points, you are kind of locked into what you're pressing during combo. Like, you kind of are, you know what I mean? Like, you can't cancel. Like, if you do a step in, like, that's stupid. They're just gonna, you know, turn around and hit you. Like, it's way too slow. On this game, they kind of took it back to Tenkaichi 2 a little bit with the combo system, like a little bit. Instead of doing a charge cancel and then being back in neutral at any point in the combo, you could just do step in. So it's like, instead of doing like, you know, charged hit, circle or whatever button used to cancel with, basically.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
So regarding getting somebody into a combo lock in Tenkaichi 2 and 3, which is basically what you were describing for starting a combo, they've removed that completely from Sparking Zero. Now, for the people watching this video, what a combo lock is, in Tenkaichi 2 and 3, let's say you have Goku versus Vegeta. Goku is punching Vegeta. You're airborne, by the way. You're punching Vegeta while you're in the air, and you suddenly just stop punching, and you decide, okay, I want to fly out of here, I want to go down, or I want to go up. You press R1, you go up, you press R2, you go down. In Tenkaichi 3, and Tenkaichi 2 and 3, if you're the one getting punched, if you're on the receiving end of a rush attack, you are in something called a combo lock, which means that if your opponent stops punching you, and you try to press R1 or R2, your character will do like an initiation kind of animation before they actually fly out of there. That is something that has been in Tenkaichi 2 and 3 the whole time, and they've removed that in Sparking Zero. Like, in one of Acrilycz's videos, one of his footage clips, I saw a point where the CPU was punching him, and even though the CPU stopped punching him, Acrilycz did a dragon descend. Like, immediately. He was out of there, and immediately even avoided the smash attack that was coming at him. So it's kind of a good and a bad thing that they've removed it, but like you said, the game has currently been made for the casual.
Yeah, and that's another thing, is it's hyper casualized, but it's also very free. So like, if you look at it like during a combo, I'm not talking about neutral or anything, because neutral, I'm sorry to say, Sparking Zero,
It doesn't seem to have a neutral.
it has the worst neutral. I would even say BT1 has a better neutral, and that's a great like that's like
Right.
that's literally how I feel about this game. So, Sparking Zero is the worst neutral like ever.
Hold on a second, Acrilycz. What did you say, Zero?
If we're looking like the number one Tenkaichi one player in the world or something, well,
No, I'll play anybody.
Okay, let's go. Let's run some rounds after this.
Okay, well, you could probably learn the game quickly, and
I have already played it online. Let's go.
all right, I'm down to play. They're down to.
Continue with your thought train.
Before I continue that, I'm sure you already know in Tenkaichi 1 you don't really combo, and I banned rush specials, by the way, because that's like broken garbage in that game. But in Tenkaichi 1 you don't really combo. Actually, the entire game is neutral. You're really just
there is no combo game really in that game for the most part.
you're just doing descent, keep blast. You're doing like jail, basically trying to get specials off and stuff. Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah.
So, shit. What was I talking about then? The
Neutral.
Yes. Okay. So, neutral and Sparking Zero does not exist. However, the combo, when you actually start a combo, and there is no like combo lock or whatever. But what's still really cool is, even though there's no combo lock, which is kind of stupid, but what's still so cool about it is like button for button, you just have more options than you did in BT3, which I think is pretty cool. But they're not. I don't think all of them are true options, obviously, because I have a clip that I'll probably have shown and put on the video so everybody can see it. So I did a step in against a revenge counter, but before that happened, like right before that happened, Birder actually turned around on my first step in, and he did it just as fast as. So on BT3, they nerfed the speed that you could turn around. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but like on BT2, if someone messes up a combo and you're holding left or right and you're spamming guard, you will turn around so quickly if you're able to. On BT3, you don't turn. It's a little bit slower. You don't turn around as fast.
Yeah, realignment has been changed in Sparking Zero, and not only that, but the stun frames have also been decreased and increased depending on which punch that you're on. This is where we go back to Raging Blast stun frames, where it seems like they've taken Raging Blast animations where the stun frames are much more minimal than they were in Tenkaichi, and that's not a bad thing. It just means that if you're going to try and take Sparking Zero a bit more competitively, you have to think about which punch you're on during your rush chain, and then think from there which move you want to do next.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing is, like, if you want to actually get good at step canceling on Sparking, what I love, is you have to learn what attacks have the longer stun, because when it has the longer stun, you're safe to step, and then when you step, your combo resets. It's the same thing as doing a charge cancel at BT2. But what's really cool about it, let's say, the other person is also aware of your move list and they know when you're going to step, because so let's say you purposely do a step that's not good that lets them turn around. And in the act of then turning around, you do a Dragon Ascent or Dragon Descent. And that adds a whole nother dimension to the game. Like, you basically, in a lot of ways, you have the same freedom that you had in BT2 that you did not have in BT3. It's very nerfed and, definitely dumbed down, but that freedom is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. The freedom has been changed completely in Sparking Zero, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't combo locking options, that there isn't any freedom. There's still so much that we don't know. And until the game comes out, we won't know for sure what the game has to offer and what Bandai plans to change.
And on top of that, because the combos look so much better on the Asian version, who even knows if what I'm showing even works?
Yeah, that's true, because the fact...
I don't think we have the latest build. I think Japan has the latest build, though.
That's what I'm saying. The Asians have a build where the combos look just better. They just straight up look...
Not only do they look better, but they also function better. I've seen several clips, I saw even one from you where you were doing a flying kick and then you started punching again after that, but somehow the combo dropped. So I don't know what's going on with this build.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen some. Yeah, I feel like I've seen similar stuff where like you're doing like a mash square combo and then like you teleport like to continue it or something, and you're just like punching air.
Yeah, it's really jank.
Yeah, or when I literally did a real combo with Boo, because I know it was a real combo because I did the same combo with the step in and the computer didn't do anything. It's worked. I did that same combo into a Kienzan, like the L2 circle, which is like basically it's like this like little, in the anime, he uses a little tentacle thing to like beam people, right?
Yeah.
It stuns them. In the game, it stuns them, which, I mean, I know y'all know this. I'm just saying this for people watching, but like, and I literally did what I did before, which was a perfect combo. Step into another melee attack, worked perfectly fine. I did that with Kienzan. It goes over the guy's shoulder. Like what is happening in this game, dude? Like, I don't know. But
yeah, there were quite a few issues like that where Birders Key Blast just completely take a vacation and decide not to hit the opponent as well. So that's literally still a thing.
Yeah, but no, but my point is that even though the game is super dumbed down, there's so much freedom in it, and it's so like resource based, and it's so like almost like borderline jump cancel based. It's like I almost feel like Storm players are just going to be really cooking something up on this game because, like the step cancel is just a better version of jump cancel. A revenge counter is just a worse version of subbing. Like it's so interesting how they mix a Tenkaichi game with a Raging Blast game and then somehow make it comparable to Storm when it's like completely different from Storm. Like it's so interesting to me. Like they clearly took influence from it, like for sure.
Yeah, taking influence from a bunch of other games isn't a bad thing. Like, I did mention the other day that Sparking Zero does have one or two Ultimate Tenkaichi elements, and for the life of me, I can't remember what they are, but I can say that they weren't significant enough that it impacts the game negatively. So that's all we need to know so far.
Yeah, and like, what I love, too, is, like, a lot of the stuff is Tenkaichi, like the camera movement. Okay, the camera does sometimes clip under the ground. Which,
I love clipping under the ground.
Yeah. So that is the mistake. But I saw a lot of big YouTubers who first got to play the game. They were basically saying, "Oh, the camera feels jank. Oh, it feels bad. I can't see anybody." Well, if you look, if you actually ask them, because I did ask them what they were talking about, and they said, "Oh, when someone's above or below me, I can't see them." And I'm like, hey, did you press the right stick, bro? Did you move the right stick? No, I didn't. Oh, well, that's why you can't see them. You know what I mean? Because if someone's above you or below you, actually at any possible angle, it doesn't matter where they are. If you can't see them and you move the camera, I guarantee you can see them and it's completely fine.
Wait. Are you saying that when you're locked on, you actually have the opportunity to move your camera up and down now?
No.
Okay.
If someone is, you know what I'm talking about, but it's like weird to explain. So basically, imagine someone is directly above.
Yeah.
They're kind of behind you. So
yeah,
if your camera is facing to the right, if you're on like the right side of the right stick, you can't see them.
Yeah.
If you go to the left side of the right stick, you can see them.
Okay, so it's still the same camera changes. They've just changed it a little bit and made it a bit more effective.
Yeah. The exact same camera, and that's a complaint people had is they couldn't see people, and that's just a user error. But the clipping under the ground is the game's fault. But there's a ton of stuff like that. Like, you can, like, for example, I used Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I did a grab into Dragon Fist. That is literally on BT2, probably even BT1 and BT3. Like, same button inputs, same animations. Like, there's a lot that is still the same. It's not like a completely different game.
Well, I mean, the only difference now is that when you do Goku's throw, it sends you downwards instead of flying straight. So the only thing... Yeah, the only thing we didn't see is, did you manage to test doing Goku's throw and then a target rush after the opponent hits the ground? Does that work?
Well, what do you mean by target rush?
Like high speed rush, for example, like it tracks you.
Oh, you mean the teleport?
No, so when you're doing like a high speed rush, like if you do Super Saiyan Goku's Meteor Smash, it literally like goes across the map and it tracks you no matter where you.
The cutscene rush is like Vegeta's Warrior Race.
Yeah,
beach thing.
Yeah, final Galagun.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Because in Raging Blast you could still do that when opponent was in knockdown state, but in Tenkaichi that wasn't a thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and say you probably can, just because that spear bump clip where I restood someone with Ki Blast.
Q blast, yeah.
So I'm gonna assume you can.
Okay.
And if you can't, all you do is Ki Blast before you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it's kind of on par with what I was already saying anyway. I mean, there's only so much we can even say about the game as it stands right now. A lot of what we have come to know in Tenkaichi 2 and Tenkaichi 3, it took time, so even if the top level of what we would find in Tenkaichi 0 doesn't match what we would have in Tenkaichi 2 or Tenkaichi 3, or it could just be completely different. Doesn't mean that we're not going to find a whole bunch of new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's true. That all comes with time. I'm sure. I feel like the goal of a lot of the footage that came out was just to get content and like get like what supers people didn't upload or what transformations people didn't touch and stuff like that. But like now that we're like mostly over that, and now that Acryl put his stuff up, for better or worse, I feel like people are gonna try to find some like actual like cool things now.
So like the Sherry guy and also what's his name, Creeps, like their gameplay was okay too. Like you could definitely watch the gameplay and notice some stuff.
I think I've noticed like 3 instances where like, I mean, you used up a lot of key for this, but like you were able to like dash right behind the CPU and when you have no idea what
flank
to do.
At this game. You can still flank, but it's like 100 times harder. Like you have to be really creative with how you do it. And probably if the person has like above 80 IQ, they can just get out of it anyway. So, but like the thing is too is like, man, like even with like, I truly do mean this. Even with all the stuff that's removed, I think the game it could be played for money potentially if there's not like some extremely game-breaking mechanic that we don't know about yet. Like how I feel about the game right now, I would put up $5,000 to play this game straight up. Like it is, I think, could be viable in a competitive environment, but I don't know everything about the game, right? So.
Yeah, only time will tell once the game comes out, and then even after that, we just have to see if Bandai is open to feedback from the audience and see if they're willing to change things, whether it be a nerf, whether it be a buff, whether it be adding things in or removing things from the game. So a lot of things can change because I know that they want the game to succeed, and we shouldn't even think about a sequel to this game happening because I think it should be supported for like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and just continuously get updates. Yeah, exactly.
Good years, bro. Yeah. And dude, another thing is too, like, right, like, so if you're watching my gameplay and you just notice some just absolute garbage, you can show that to me and I will agree with you. Like, dude, this is horrible. Like, why did I press that button? But the thing is, right, okay, I'm standing up playing the game. I can play one match at a time. I only have a limited amount of time.
Yeah, you're going through like a bunch of emotions. There's only so much you can do with so little time.
And also, like, I care more about learning the game than I do about killing the computer.
Yeah.
Also, these games are timed. I'm trying to stay on the game as long as possible. So I am purposely running out the clock every single match, and that's something people don't understand. If you have to play one match and go sit in line for 30 minutes, are you going to kill the CPU in 45 seconds?
Yeah, obviously not. You don't want to do that. You want to optimize your time.
That's what I'm saying. So I intentionally ran the clock out literally every match. And if you notice, every match is like 5 minutes long. I run the whole clock out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, yeah, like, sure, you could say my gameplay is bad, but the objective truth right now is I do have some of the best clips that are out right now, and that's because I went in there with a purpose to do something, and I didn't just go in to mash the CPU and kill it, you know what I mean? Like, and then that's the reason why you might watch some of my gameplay and it might look just god awful at some points, and I agree with you, it is.
For sure. I don't have anything more to add for the moment, so Zero and Shonen, you guys are, it's all you know, I think.
Well, I mean, I think we pretty much gathered everything from the almost 2.5 hour footage that we got from this game. So I think once people get past the some of the YouTube comments, like that's why I pinned your analysis on both videos, because like for someone that's just coming in, because people were genuinely asking like, hey, can you show us where this stuff is happening, because we don't know what's going on. And to be fair, like some of the things that Acryl is doing is like subtle. Like if he didn't explain it to me, I probably would have had the same questions.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people asking me if I can do like a breakdown video of Acril's footage, just so people actually know where to look. And in my mind, I'm just like, man, Dragon Ball fans don't freaking read. Why are you guys doing this to me? Okay, Shonen, it's all you. You can sign us off.
All right, guys, Shonen Games, thanks for tuning in. If you stayed this long, signing out. See you next time.
Bye.
Peace out.
And again, Zero silent on the exit.